Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way to 11,100 subscribers still. If you could click the like button as well, I would be greatly appreciative. I hope you're all doing well. It's a Sunday evening. If you've got to go back to school and stuff tomorrow, then commiserations, but enjoy the end of the weekend. I tell you what, I am sweating like Dr. Disrespect and Ryan Windridge in a creche. You'll either get one of those references, both of those references, or neither of those references. But it is hot. It is hot. There is lots to talk about today as well. Arsenal news, Euro stuff as well. We'll get into that. Well, not straight after this. Like half an hour after the end of this live stream, I'll be going live over on Tifo. Don't know why I pointed over there as if I'll be in a different room. I'll be live on Tifo for the watch along of the end of the Group A games. So Switzerland against Germany and Hungary against Scotland. We will be there over on Tifo. So I hope I see loads of you over there. If you are still new to Tifo, you still haven't joined Tifo, use the code Rory, RORY, full caps, and I will see you there. There's loads of you here. Junior Films, Pelzer, Jacob, Anu Brata, Icarus, Pekka, Tom, Lukey, Cringe, Max, Jakob, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Ethan Udall, VV Vlad, El Minister, David, Hannah, Saliba, Jack Sachs, and many, many more. Will a striker in his prime like Gyökeres want to basically have 50-50 chance of starting games with Havertz competing at striker? Will he see the vision? Always the difficulty. This will always be the difficulty when it comes to anyone that we bring in, right? Anyone we bring in, they are not going to be guaranteed starting, realistically. So, how do you convince them to join if they may only play 50% of games? If they may only play 30% of games? It's difficult. It's the biggest issue that you have. It's an issue that Man City have. But you've got to find a way around it. You've got to find the right people. Wilsey, good to see you. I hope you're doing well as well. Loopy in here. To be fair with the transfers, I'm waiting until July before I pay proper attention. Sensible to wait until July. Hi, Rory. Surely the Raya signing could have been announced already. It won't be until July. It will not be until July. The only clubs that want to do any business before the start of July are those that have PSR issues. And when I say PSR issues, I mean they are going to fail PSR if they don't sell players by June 30th. So that's why you're seeing the Everton, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea little merry-go-round. They need to do it before June 30th. Every other deal will happen after June 30th. So I would imagine the other thing with David Raya signing permanently, even though like he's basically already an Arsenal player, he is at the Euros. So in terms of doing the media side of it, look, like the thing is, I don't know. Obviously, we all knew David Raya was going to sign permanently ages ago, right? When he was still at the club. I don't know if they would have gone as far as doing all of the media stuff for that before he went to the Euros. And if they haven't, then they may wait until he's back from the Euros to do all of that media stuff, even though we all knew it was going to happen. So there's a couple of reasons. There's a couple of reasons that we haven't announced it so far. Arsenal can sign me for striker. I wouldn't complain about playing just one game a season. Yeah, likewise. Do you think the current PSR rules are good or bad for football? I think they're good in principle, but I don't think they're used properly. I don't think they work properly. So, like with pretty much every other financial rule in football, they need to review it, I think. In this case, it's really just the ability. Amortization is the biggest issue in this case, right? It's very difficult for them to get rid of amortization because it's a business practice, not anything else. So they'd have to completely rip up the rules and start again if they wanted to somehow get rid of that, which is very difficult. So, yeah, I don't know. But look, the clubs have found a way around it and they're using it. So what can you do? What can you do? Anyway, on to some of the news today. The first bit of news is coming from Plettigol. Now, Plettigol always take with a pinch of salt because it's a German outlet and basically regularly acts as a kind of mouthpiece for Bayern. Like, Plettigol is always very favourable for Bayern. Plettigol was pushing that Declan Rice wanted to join Bayern. Plettergol, it pushes that players want to join Bayern. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. However, in this case, where I don't think there's a huge amount for them to benefit from it, they've said only 5 clubs are in consideration for Joshua Kimmich, who is expected to leave Bayern Munich this summer or when his contract expires in 2025. So apologies for my voice again, by the way. Bayern are happy to let Joshua Kimmich go. Joshua Kimmich is happy to go. It's whether or not they sell him this summer or he stays for one more season and leaves on a free next summer. But the 5 clubs that are in consideration for him, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. They are the only 5 clubs that Joshua Kimmich would be willing to go to. So Arsenal, one of those clubs. And look, I'd be happy with him. I would be happy with him. Now, would you want him this summer or would you want him for free? It's one of those. If you get him for free, it will mean you end up paying higher wages. Like, factually, if a player goes for free, they get higher wages because every club can basically compete for their signature. And the way that they compete is by offering higher wages than the other clubs. So if we waited a year, yes, we wouldn't pay a transfer fee, but we would be paying increased wages. Now, what the difference in those wages would be, I don't know. I'd happily bring him in this summer, as long as the fee wasn't crazy. So I actually don't know what Bayern want for Kimmich. I don't think anyone has said what Bayern Munich want for Kimmich. But for me, I'd happily do it this summer for a reasonable fee. I think he's a great player. I think the fact that he can play at right back and invert, he can play at right back generally. He can obviously play as a central midfielder for us. I think a partnership between him and Rice could work really well. I kind of see him as, this isn't to discredit Jorginho, but as that sort of player within the squad. And Kimmich isn't as old as Jorginho, but the slightly older player in the squad, the really experienced player in the squad, Kimmich has been there and done it. I see him as the next Jorginho in that, where we've had Jorginho for a couple of years. It'll be 2.5 years by the time Jorginho leaves. That's kind of where I see him fitting in. And obviously that versatility is pretty helpful as well. So look, if we're one of the clubs in consideration, I'd be happy with it. I'd like him to come to Arsenal, but I think his wages are going to be the problem. Well, I don't know what he's on at Bayern, to be fair. I don't know what he's on at Bayern. I don't know about you, but I do not believe one rumour about Arsenal transfers yet this summer. That's a very fair and reasonable position to take. Honestly, like, I would imagine that one of the players we've been linked to at some point ends up happening, but the majority of it will either be bullshit, but not necessarily bullshit, or just won't come to fruition, right? In the way that Sesko didn't come to fruition. What is Kimmich salary? What's he on? 375,000 euros a week. That's like 300 grand a week. Yeah, that's steep. That is steep. 300 grand a week. More, really. I don't know what the exact exchange rate is these days, but yeah, that's heavy. That is steep. That is steep. Interesting. You wouldn't want to pay that, really. Don't get me wrong. I think he'd be a brilliant player for us, and I think sitting in that role that I said, I think would be really good. Highest paid player at the club. Is he the level to be the highest paid player at the club? Tough. Yeah, maybe not. That's what Havertz is not on that much. Havertz is on like 265 base level. Havertz is nowhere near over 300k. That's why I doubt we'll get him. Fair, but equally, right? I don't see Barcelona paying that. I don't see Real Madrid paying that. Mainly because I don't think Real Madrid need him. I don't see Liverpool paying that because Liverpool don't pay high wages. Edwards hates paying high wages. And outside of that, it's City. And City, I'm telling you, City are in trouble. Not even with all of the charges and all of that stuff going on. Pep Guardiola hasn't signed a new deal. A number of their players have not signed new deals, including Kevin De Bruyne. They've not made the signings or been able to go in for the signings that they've wanted so far this summer. City, I think, are in trouble. Are they going to go and put Kimmich on 325 grand a week? I don't know. It'd be an interesting one. Look, the reality is this. Kimmich may have to take a pay cut. That there is that reality. He's out of contract next summer. Bayern Munich say, we're not going to renew your contract at the amount that you're currently earning. So maybe he ends up going for cheaper. I don't know. It's one to keep an eye on. I think he would be a good player, ideally. But we'll see. He's only out for 5 to 6 weeks, apparently. Who's out for 5 to 6 weeks? What about the 115 charges? Well, we'll wait and see what happens with that. But even outside of that, I think they're in a slight bit of a pickle because there are new FFP rules coming in, potentially, especially if that anchor rule comes in. They're in big trouble anyway because their wage bill is astronomical. So if Man City's wages ever got tied to the rest of the Premier League, which is how that anchor would work, Man City would be in big trouble because their wage bill is insane. Watching Germany v Switzerland tonight? Yeah, we will be watching both Germany versus Switzerland and Scotland versus Hungary tonight. We'll have them both on. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, actually. If you had to predict which one of Eze, Williams, and Neto are we most likely to sign, in your opinion? In my opinion, I won't say. I think it's most likely between Neto and Eze. I think it's most likely between Neto and Eze. Premier League proven, which I do think the club more recently the club likes. Premier League proven, and Williams has that insane wage bill. In fact, actually, right, as a reference point for that, Fabrizio Romano today says Chelsea's position on Nico Williams has not changed. Chelsea appreciate him, and he was on the shortlist already last summer. However, the current package is too expensive. The release clause of over 58 million euros plus taxes, with the main payment upfront and salary requests considered, it is too high. We'll be on Tifo. We'll be on Tifo. If Chelsea think he's far too expensive, with the release clause, a big amount of that being up front, the taxes you pay on top with the Spanish players, his insane salary where he's on over 200 grand a week already, I think, for the same reason Chelsea are out, will be out. And therefore, I think Eze or Neto becomes more likely. What was the knee surgery thing about? Isn't it concerning? What knee surgery? I missed who I even... Oh, Gyökeres. Oh, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Gyökeres should be fine. It was something I think that was already affecting him a little bit, and he wanted to get it sorted over the summer. Hear me out. Eze is very capable of being a Saka backup. Yeah, he is. One of the biggest things I like about Eze, and in fairness, Pedro Neto can easily play off both sides, right? Pedro Neto this season, consistently has predominantly played off the right-hand side, the right wing for Wolves. But if you were watching Portugal yesterday, he was playing off the left-hand side. And I thought he was really good off the left-hand side as well. So Neto can play off either flank. Eze is even more versatile, in my opinion, because I think he can play off the left, he can play off the right, and he can play as the left central midfielder. He can play as the 8. Now, I don't think there are many games where we would actually go for that. I don't think there are many games at all where we would go for Eze as a midfielder. But he does have the ability to do it. I mean, he's done it plenty for Crystal Palace. So, yeah. Think Neto will be more likely because Tottenham's linked to Eze. Yeah, but we shit on Tottenham. Bear in mind, Eze was at Arsenal until he was 13. Said it's his dream to go back to Arsenal. And look, that doesn't always make a massive difference, right? Players play for clubs that they don't support or didn't support or whatever. But if Champions League Arsenal come knocking for Eze, we get him. We get him. How much is Pedro Neto worth? Wolves want 60 million. According to the thing we read yesterday from the Telegraph, Wolves have set their price for Pedro Neto at 60 million. So Neto speed would also help. Yeah, I mean, Neto has that raw speed. The thing is, though, Neto's got that raw speed. Eze is no slouch, by the way. Neto has that raw speed, but Eze can take it past anyone. Eze can dribble a ball past literally anyone. And I feel like we've been lacking that a little bit. Someone that can just stand a player up on the edge of the box and take it past them and dribble into the box. Not worth more than 30 million. Simon, in this day and age, 30 million is not getting you very much, unfortunately. Who are your 3 players you want at Arsenal this summer? I mean, it changes all the time. Gyökeres. See, I can't even decide between Eze and Neto myself. I like the look of Calafiori still. There's some defenders. Hanko I like the look of as well. Hato, if we do Hato, I don't think it will happen till next summer. I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. So it's difficult. Proper wide creator. Eze. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Is Martinelli quicker than Neto? I think it would be a hell of a race. I reckon over a shorter distance, Neto's quicker. Neto's acceleration is unbelievable. I mean, Neto might just in general be faster. I don't know. I'd love to see them race. Anyway, so the other news, the reason that Gyökeres is back on the thumbnail today, is coming from our favorite source, Leonino. Leonino, the only source in the entire world that thinks Gyökeres is coming to Arsenal. And today, so previously, you'll remember, previously on Rory Talks Football, Leonino had said, where was it? Leonino previously said, Arsenal are about to secure the signing of Sporting CP striker Viktor Gyökeres for below his €100 million release clause. The clubs agreed on a fixed amount of €90 million, which may raise to €120 million after add-ons based on goals, Champions League appearances, and trophies. So that was what they said previously. That was a couple of days ago. They have followed that up by saying, George Mendes is acting as the intermediary to bring Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal. The deal, according to sources, is close to being completed after negotiations advanced rapidly in recent days, and it is expected that there will be news by the end of the month. Now, I would love to believe this. The Gyökeres steam train would love to believe this. We would love to believe this. The bit that, if anything, has thrown me off, this is like the AFC Bell source. If it's this niche and they're pushing it this much, surely it happens, or so I choose to believe. I want to believe, right? The George Mendes bit may well be true. The bit that I'm a bit fishy about is them saying that it's expected that there will be news by the end of the month. Now, unless that news is, okay, it's close to happening, the transfer will not happen before the end of the month. For the exact same thing I just spoke about in terms of PSR, we are not going to sign anyone in June. We will sign them in July. So that's why I don't think it will happen by the end of the month, which is it makes the whole thing a bit fishy for me. But that is the news. So Arsenal are going to get Gyökeres for €90 million that could raise to €120 million, and it's happening soon. Leonino for the win. The only person that knows who Leonino are so far was Francisco Oliveira. Francisco Oliveira, who is a regular in the chat, is Portuguese. This is a Portuguese outlet that kind of specializes in sporting news. He says they're shit, basically. So make of that what you will. Will you be live on Twitch today, Rory? I will be live on Twitch. I will be live on Twitch tonight about 10:15. Link is in the description down to the Twitch as well. It's 4 a.m. in Sydney and it's freezing. Well, I'll tell you now, it's 10 to 7 in the evening in England and I am roasting. I am absolutely roasting. Havertz starts. You'll love to see it. Good news equals S tier. Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. Read the latest post from AFC Stuff. Well, the latest post from AFC Stuff is about Kimmich, right? We've gone through that. We've gone through that. It's the same post. It's about Kimmich. Kimmich is the 8 or the 6, either or. This is, exactly in the way that Jorginho has actually played some games as the 8 with Rice as the 6. In the big games, we actually had Rice playing at 6 and Jorginho playing at 8. Rice was actually deeper than Jorginho for, on average, he was deeper than Jorginho. I see the same thing happening. So in plenty of games, Kimmich considers the 6, and we can let Rice get forward and really be aggressive in the press. But in the bigger games, more of a double pivot, really. And Rice sits deeper. So, Onana for 60. I thought, again, by the way, if you've been watching Onana, I think he's been impressive at Belgium. And I think if you watch him at Belgium, which is a better team and is a more attacking and dominant team than Everton, I think, look, I always take international performances with a pinch of salt, right? But Onana for Belgium is impressive. And I think 60 is too much. I think 50 would be probably the most I'd go. Onana for 30? No chance. You're not getting him for 30. It'll be more like 50. But 50 I'd be happy with. 50 I would be happy with. Like and subscribe, guys. Come on, you guys. Yeah, if you could click the like button. If we're not on 100 likes already, right? Please do click the like button. Just pause. Don't even pause. Don't pause. You don't need to pause because I'm just talking about clicking the like button. Just click the like button. That's, come on. Onana is insane, but anything more than 45 is an overpay, especially for the role he'd have for us. Yeah, I mean, 45. I'd go 50, but I'd go 50. Would you rather have 21-22 Smith Rowe or 23-24 Eze? 23-24 Eze for me. Would you rank how good journalists are on a tier list? I mean, I could do some of them, right? Top tier for Arsenal, this is David Ornstein, Team News and Ticks. I'd borderline put Sammy Mockbell up there. But they're the big three. The journalist-wise, Team News and Ticks isn't a journalist. Journalist-wise, Ornstein, Sammy Mockbell. Tier below that, Fabrizio Romano. Pretty much on his own, probably in the tier below that, because then you have to go down another tier to some of the others. If you look at, what's his name in the Daily Mirror? John Cross, I put in the tier below that. Do you know Jamie Kent? Well, I know of Jamie Kent, yeah. But, I mean, he's just a Twitter account, right? He's not a journalist, really. Charles Watts. Charles Watts is probably same as John Cross. Probably same as John Cross. Maybe it's difficult. You can kind of rank them more than a tier list, but Ben Jacobs is reasonably good on... Ben Jacobs is good for Chelsea. Ben Jacobs for Arsenal, a bit hit and miss. Rory is an S-tier journalist. I'm not a journalist. I am an aggregator. Gunnerblog's part of The Athletic, so it could be a good source. Yeah, but I'm not sure how many connections Gunnerblog's actually got. I like Gunnerblog, and I like his blog. When it comes to writing athletic articles, I've said it before, I think he does a bit of the John Cross method, where you weave in your opinion and actual information, but like they weave it together, so you can't really tell what is opinion and what's not opinion, and it gets a bit confusing. AFC Bell 2020, never forget. The problem with selling Trossard for 30 million is you won't buy an equivalent quality for the same price. Yeah, that's fair. But if that 30 million then helps you raise, if that 30 million enables you to go and get Eze for 60 million, but you wouldn't be able to do it without the 30 million for Trossard, then it works, right? If you sell Trossard for 30 million, you don't have to spend 30 million on the replacement. What did I miss? Are we actually close to getting anyone? Or Kimmich, Eze, just rumours still? It's all still rumours. Yeah, it's all still rumours. Kimmich, I mean, we've not technically been linked to Kimmich, but apparently there are only 5 clubs that Kimmich wants to go to, which is either City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Madrid, or Barca. Eze, I mean, this came from Alex Goldberg today. It came from Alex Goldberg. It's pretty much Team News and Ticks' Patreon regurgitated. Everyone at Arsenal loves Eze, and they view him as someone who can play left wing or left central midfield. However, As Palace want 50 million of the 60 million clause paid up front, it remains to be seen whether Arsenal's interest is strong enough for them to pursue him at that price. So, again, price might become the problem. Can we see the lineups? Yes. Let me show you the lineups. Let me show you the lineups. We'll quickly go through the lineups for the games. To be fair, that is pretty much all of the news done anyway. Right. Switzerland versus Germany lineups are Sommer, Shah, Akanji, Rodriguez, Widmer, Freuler, Granit, Ibischer, Ndoye, Rieder, and Embolo. For Germany, Neuer in goal, Kimmich, Rudiger, Tah, Mittelstadt, Andrich, Kroos, Musiala, Gundogan, Wirtz. It's literally the same lineup that they've had all. It's the same lineup that they've had the whole time. Gyökeres. One day we've agreed a fee. The next is still rumors. It's one rumor, right? It's one rumor coming from one source. The source is Leonino, random Portuguese source that supposedly specializes in sporting news. Apparently, they don't put their neck on the line at random like they do genuinely normally get things right when it comes to sporting, apparently. But they are the only source so far. Are you in the UK, Rory? Kickoff is at 8, and I'm in London. Yeah, I don't. It's just FOTMob. I'm in the UK, but for some reason, FOTMob shows the. I don't even know why. I don't know why it shows them a 7. It's probably a setting that I need to change, right? I mean, I am in the UK. I don't know. Anyway, Scotland versus Hungary. Scotland, Angus Gunn in goal, Ralston, Hendry, Hanley, McKenna, Robertson. So McKenna is in for Tierney. John Magen, Gilmore, McGregor, McTominay, and Adams. Hungary, Glashki, Botka, Orban, Dardai, Bolla, Styles, Schaefer, Gyökeres, Salai, Szoboszlai, and Varga. Keep an eye on Gyökeres again, by the way. If you've not been watching Gyökeres through this tournament, we were linked to him earlier on in the summer. Left back, really. He plays as a left wing back, I guess, in this formation. But Bournemouth player, really talented. I keep an eye on him. But there you go. That's the teams. Gutted about KT? Yeah. Injury length is unconfirmed yet. They think it might not actually be quite as bad as they originally thought. But he's come back to Arsenal. So we'll see. FOTMob on my phone is the right time. I ain't got a clue. I haven't got a clue why it's not the right time. But what are your predictions for the games tonight? Germany. Well, actually, I can show you my predictions. We've still got the predictions going. So here we go. Hungary 2, Scotland 1, with Hungary to score first, and Germany 2, Switzerland 0, with Kai Havertz to score first. So that's what we've gone for. The league, as it stands, I have fallen away. I've fallen away in the league. Amar is now top. Francisco Oliveira is 1 point behind me. And then there's a bit of a drop down to Key, and Pekka's there, grumpy ass gamer. Carter's down in 8th. Carter, what are you doing? Anu Brata, 13th. Vincent, Jakob, Drakkar down here on 5 points. That's unfortunate. But no, there you go. That's my predictions. Those are my predictions. Heard Crystal Palace want Reece Nelson to replace Elise. Would you do Reece Nelson plus 30 million for Eze? Yes. Yes, I would. Reece Nelson plus 30 million for Eze would be a brilliant deal. Mr. Big Piece, thank you for the 199 super chat. Are you using a VPN? No, I'm not using a VPN. I don't know if it's because I'm not signed into FOTMob or something, but I don't know. Like, the time on my computer's right as well, so I have no idea. But thank you very, very much for the 199, Mr. Big Piece. Legend. Absolute legend. Most of my predictions were based on whom I wanted to win and not logic, so 98 is a lot. Yeah, that's fair. The only other news today... Was there any other news today? No, that was it. That was all the Arsenal news for today. What's the ranking for the Fantasy League? Well, I deliberately didn't look at that, to be quite honest with you. I deliberately didn't look at that because to be honest, I stopped playing it. I stopped playing it after the first thing. Look at that. What an absolute stinker that is. Top of the Rory Talks Football League is Benaldo. Ben Thomas Kverma. 172 points. Are any of you lot on here? I mean, what an absolute fucking weapon that is. Are any of you on here? I don't recognize any of you. Don't recognize any of you up there. Are you doing a watch along? Yes, we will be live over on Tifo from 7:45. 7:45, live on Tifo, watching both of the games simultaneously. We will be there. So I hope to see as many of you over there as possible. Link is in the description down below for Tifo. 7 likes away from 100. Love to everyone who sits it. There's 211 of you here. 7 of you at least have not clicked the like button. So if you could, I mean, actually, statistically, at least 118 of you haven't clicked the like button. So, shameful. Absolutely shameful. Did you see Trippier's now carrying a calf issue? Brilliant. Brilliant. So Luke Shaw's still limping. Trippier's carrying a calf issue. We've got no left backs. It's a joke. It's a joke. Anyone know when the Emirates Cup tickets go live? No, I don't think they've announced it yet. I don't think they've announced when the tickets go live yet. Saka at left back. The first Ornstein bomber about Arsenal signing a player is going to be Limbs. It will. The first Ornstein bomber. And do you know what, right? Someone was saying this today. If you look back to last summer, like when the Timber news dropped, it dropped out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere. So I don't think we need to worry. I've seen some people worrying. Literally, I've seen some people already writing off the transfer window. That's it. We're not signing anyone. Look at all these players that have already transferred. We're not signing anyone. It's all over. It's all over. Relax. Tranquilo. Arsenal, by the way, have absolutely battened down the hatches when it comes to leaks as well. So there's nothing to worry about. There is nothing to worry about. Send Shaw home and bring Mitchell or Chilwell. I don't know if you can do that, though. I don't know if you can do that. Ornstein does it completely out of the blue, which makes him so special. Yeah, exactly. Over 100. You're legends. You're absolute legends. Thank you very much. I just want us to sign someone, but I know we will eventually. But I can't wait. I know, but patience. Patience. Especially, look, a lot of the players that we're interested in are at the Euros, right? We're not going to sign players whilst they're at the Euros. We can't do a medical. We can't do the media. We can't really speak to them. So, relax. Relax. What do you think will help Martinelli get back to his best player-wise? Yeah, well, Timber will help. Timber would help. Another style of left back that would help Martinelli would be an overlapping left back that's left-footed. Truthfully, which may be why we're interested in players like Kadioglu and Gyökeres. That would help him. And then in terms of a left midfielder, left central midfielder, someone that's going to make underlapping runs. Granit Xhaka actually made a lot of them last season. Martinelli's out on the wing. He's standing up his defender. Granit Xhaka makes an underlapping run. Martinelli can either feed it into Xhaka or he can cut then onto his right, but the defender's in two minds. Kadioglu's right-footed. Yeah, he is. He is. I don't know why I was going to try and argue that. He is. But he's better on his left foot than... Well, I'm thinking about, like, Tomiyasu. Really. That's the only player. How many points do you have on the predictions? On the predictions, I've got 157. 157. I want to see Kai Havertz score a hat-trick just to see what everyone says about it. Well, I've still got a bet on Germany to win the Euros and Kai Havertz to get the Golden Boot. Luckily, as it stands, no one has scored more than 2 goals yet this tournament. So, yeah, a cheeky little Havertz hat-trick and we'll be on fire. We'll be on fire. I honestly think Timber as the 8 would work really well. It could do. I don't think we'll see it. Personally, I don't think we'll see it, but it could work. It could work. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Guna, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. Let's get your fingers on your keyboards because we're starting now. How much did you whack on the bet? 20 quid, so it's going to return £1,600 if it wins. Clue number 1, this player is 28 years old. Clue number 1, this player is 28 years old. Clue number 2, they won 2 FA Cups and 3 Community Shields with Arsenal. Clue number 2, they won 2 FA Cups and 3 Community Shields with Arsenal. Clue number 3, they scored 5 goals in 162 games for Arsenal. Clue number 3, they scored 5 goals in 162 games for Arsenal. Clue number 4, they joined Arsenal from Bolton. Clue number 4, they joined Arsenal from Bolton. And clue number 5, they currently play for a Premier League team in London, but it is not Arsenal. They currently play for a Premier League team in London, but it is not Arsenal. Who is the player? Loads of you have got it now, but who got it first? Make sure I don't get VAR checked. Make sure I don't get VAR. Oh, yeah, by the way, yes. Did you see England's obliteration of USA in the T20 World Cup? Yes, I did. 10 wickets. Absolutely. Joss Butler, 5 sixes off an over. Unbelievable. Right. There we go. The winner is Anu Brata. It was indeed. Oh, Rob Holding, you know, better than Cannavaro. Second was Ethan Udall. Third was VV Vlad. Fourth was Amar. And fifth was Sportcat. But there you go. Anu Brata. Give it up in the chat for Anu Brata. And VAR check me, if you could. But I think I got it right. I don't think we're getting VAR checked on that one. I think that was good. The US has a cricket team? Yeah, but just about. Just about. Sorry he didn't cost 50 million? Yeah. You know, he still only played 1 game for Crystal Palace. He has 1 appearance. He has 1 appearance for Crystal Palace. Oh, Yaltek thinks he was after VV Vlad. Not on my screen, Yaltek. Not on my screen, unfortunately. You were a bit further down. You were a bit further down. You're about 8th on my screen, Yaltek. Unfortunately. Wasn't he injured? He was injured for some of it, yeah. Did you see Chelsea have a Martial Ballon d'Or clause in the Esteval contract? Yeah. Honestly, one of the worst clauses you can put into a fucking... How old is he? 17, 16, 17? One of the worst things you could put into their contract is, oh yeah, if you win the Ballon d'Or, you're going to get a 4 million bonus. Like, talk about putting pressure on a youngster. Setting them up for a Ballon d'Or. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. You have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community, but not as much respect as Anu Brata currently has. This player started their career at Partizan. They started their career at Partizan. They went to Anderlecht. They went from Partizan to Anderlecht. They went to Newcastle United. They went to Fulham on loan. They went to Fulham permanently. And they went to Al Hilal. So Partizan, Anderlecht, Newcastle, Fulham on loan, Fulham permanently, Al Hilal. Who got it first? Here he is. Guess who's back? Back again. VV Vlad. Tell a friend. Mitrovic is correct. VV Vlad is back on top. Congratulations. Ethan Udall was second. Third was Sportcat. Fourth was Amar. And fifth was Drakar. There you go. Congratulations. Viktor Gyökeres is only out for 4 weeks and the knee surgery is very minor. He, in my opinion, is a must-buy and is one of the missing parts of the jigsaw. I completely agree. We are on the same wavelength. I completely agree. Yeah, people are worried about fucking Mitrovic, about Gyökeres' knee surgery. I'm fairly sure it was quite minor. So there you go. Congratulations to VV Vlad. Congratulations to Anu Brata. And look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I will be back in literally, we're talking half an hour, 35 minutes tops. TIFO, link is down in the description. Most of you are already over on TIFO because you're absolute legends. We'll be watching both games, which means we'll have double the amount of stuff to talk about, which is fantastic. If you're still new to TIFO, use the code RORY, RORY, full caps when you sign up. Join the future of football watch-alongs. After that, I'll be live on Twitch. Link to that is down in the description as well. But other than that, have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Start the new week well tomorrow. We'll be back live tomorrow evening for watch-alongs on here as normal. Probably back at 6:30 again. I think. Are there any I don't think there are any 5 p.m. kickoffs left now. And as long as there aren't 5 p.m. kickoffs, we'll be back to going live at 6:30. But yeah, there you go. Until then, goodbye.